Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to show you the 6 stocks that I bought this week. All 6 companies that I bought are companies that I already own, so I was just averaging into my position more. There were no companies sold this week. I always do this series so you guys at the end of the week can keep up to date with what I bought and what I sold, and also with my monthly portfolio review that I do, you can always track what's going on in my portfolio. I always like to have the transparency out here. So often I see other channels that always post like the buying stocks, and then you never hear what has happened to them stocks in like the next few months. And I always think it's always good that if you follow along with the channel, that you get the transparency of what I'm buying, selling, and also an up-to-date portfolio every month as well. So hopefully, it seems like you know that I'm actively in the stock market and following my investments that I do buy. I always think that's really good from you guys seeing what I'm doing, and also from me as a legit point of view as well. So we'll get on to these 6 stocks that I bought or averaged into this week. Most of these companies that I bought were on the Monday dip. So Monday was really, I think it was Monday, it was the real big day where the stock market had a bit of a downturn in the US tech front once again, and I bought into some more of these companies. And later in the week I didn't really buy too much. But if you do want to know exactly when I am buying and selling companies, make sure you join the Patreon. The link is in the description. I always post exactly when I'm buying and selling companies there. And if you do want to start buying some shares in some of these stocks, there's a link to a free trade account and also some other brokers in there if you want another broker apart from free trade. But what we'll do is we'll get stuck into these 6 stocks I bought this week. So if you could smash the like button, and if you're new, subscribe, and we'll take a look. So these are the first 3. As always, I'm only going to spend like a minute or 2 on the company, talk about maybe some new updated news with them. If you do want a full video into them and my full bill of theories on them, I think I have a video on all of these stocks on here on this list. If they're not a video on them, they'll be mentioned in the 3 stocks I'm buying series recently. So Callaway Golf is one that I actually did a full video on. I think it was 3 days ago. I actually made a 25-minute video on that one, so you get a full bull case on that one. But basically I'm buying that company because I think the Callaway Golf business is solid. I think the golf gear they have, the clothing gear that they've got is a pretty good company. But I probably wouldn't have bought the company just on that basis unless it just fell off a cliff on an earnings report. The main reason I'm buying that is because recently acquired Topgolf, and I'm a big fan of Topgolf. Originally I thought it was going to IPO. It didn't IPO. And then it turned out that Callaway bought them for a very good value as well. Topgolf for me is a great company. I think the venues are amazing. Gives them a diverse revenue in the entertainment side as well as just not having clothing and golf. I think that's now another third income stream for Callaway for them to make. And I think Topgolf will be something that benefits very much when the CV situation calms down. And at the moment, Topgolf, the deal has only just closed. So I think that the next earnings report is when we will see some Topgolf numbers in the Callaway report. So that should be very interesting. We'll probably get that one in about 4 weeks' time. So yeah, I think we've got probably 4 weeks until we see some Topgolf numbers. And I think when Wall Street kind of wakes up and realise the great purchase that Callaway have made for Topgolf, I think the stock will start kicking on. And because when you look at the share price as well, it's not much higher than pre-pandemic, and then you consider now that they've got the Topgolf side of the business as well. Yeah, I think in my opinion, Callaway Golf will be a $60 stock in the next 2 to 5 years, and that's a low estimate. In my opinion, it even has the potential to go all the way up to a $90 stock. So big fan of this one, and it's one that when I was writing down my notes for the video that I did on Topgolf, the video that was 25 minutes long, I sometimes do this where I kind of like buy a stock and then I leave it, but then I do some notes on it for a video, and I'm like, oh, this is actually such a good company. And if it gives that video that made me go, I'm going to buy even more into this stock. So number 1 is Callaway Golf. Number 2 is Shopify. So this one is a stock that, a bit of a strange one because it steadily goes up, but recently what happened, it got kind of caught in one of these, what a lot of stocks have been caught into, which is that tech boom, where I think it was from about February time, the stock went up a huge amount, and then we had the whole tech correction, and then it went back down to where it should be. And Shopify at the moment, I was a little bit down on my position. I think I was down maybe 5% on the position, so I took the chance to buy some more. I think by the time we got around to Thursday's close, because the stock market wasn't open on Friday, I think I was about break even now on Shopify. But I love the business model of this company. I think 100 billion market cap. I think it's the leader in its area. I think the what they've got going is amazing. I think when they expand will be amazing. A decent competitor to Amazon from the view that businesses can build up more of a loyal audience. I think when they build the fulfillment center out, that'll be the next step up for them. And yeah, I think over the next few years, I can only see Shopify going up in value, especially when they carry on growing the profit that they're doing as well now, as well as the revenue growth. So number 2 is Shopify. And number 3 is DraftKings. So I think over the last kind of couple of weeks, I've come to realise that this is actually probably my favourite stock on the stock market right now. Big fan of Facebook still, but the valuation's a little higher. I'd like Facebook around 250. But when I next look at the next company that I really think I'm ultra bullish on, is probably DraftKings. I think DraftKings has so much potential at the moment with how it's expanding in states that are allowing online gambling. And when you think about the number 1 leaders, I think these guys are clearly going to be it. I mean, they already are it, but I mean, from the point of view that I think the branding's absolutely amazing, the partnerships to have is absolutely amazing. I think the product is amazing, and yeah, I think that by the time we get another year and we get back around to the NFL season, which will be the 2021 season that comes up, I think that that will then will be the next step up for DraftKings. I think at the moment it's a little bit of a rich valuation, even though it does deserve to trade at a rich valuation. But I think when we do get around to another 12 months, it might be a bit stagnant at the moment for the next few months, which is nothing to be scared about, because then obviously it gets built up with a good position. But I think by the time we get around to when we hear Q3, Q4 numbers, I think that'll be the next step up for DraftKings, where we see maybe DraftKings start pushing up to $100 stock. So yeah, I think that this one might be a little bit sleepy for the next few months, which I'm not complaining about. But I think when we do get around another year, when we're at this point next year, I think DraftKings will be like another level from where it is right now. And these are the stocks number 4, 5 and 6. So number 4, Beyond Meat. Now, the more I look at this one, very much like DraftKings, I just get more and more bullish on Beyond Meats. And I feel like every week I could make a video on these guys. I think I'm a big fan of Tattoo Chef. I think the branding's really good. I think where they go in, the deals they have are absolutely fantastic, and I'm a big fan of this company. But Beyond Meat for me is what I'm seeing at the moment is probably the most disrespected stock that I own, and I can't believe the amount of people on Wall Street that are sleeping on this company. And I'm even starting to see it on YouTube now. I'm starting to see people make videos on YouTube saying that Beyond Meat isn't a great company, and it hurts my head every time I hear someone say something like this. Like, Beyond Meats, people are not realising what's going to happen in the next 12 months with Beyond Meat. You know, they only look at the financial point of view, they only look at the valuation, they only look at the revenue side of it, and then they only go, oh, I tried the product and it was okay, or something like that. I think the product's pretty good, but that's all down to opinions. You know, it's your opinion if it's a good or bad product. What isn't my opinion is the amount of people that are sleeping on this company on what it's going to do in the next 12 months. If you have a more in-depth look into Beyond Meat, you'll be able to see the amount of partnerships they've signed in the lockdown. And all these partnerships they've signed in lockdown, a lot of them are for the food service business. The food service business is dead. You know, there's restaurants closed, restaurants at limited capacity. In the next 12 months, what's going to happen? Restaurants will open. When restaurants open, and more people, and there'll be that boom of people like wanting to go out to restaurants. All these deals that they've signed, and let's not forget the half, you know, the food service part of the company, you know, the products in the supermarkets is half of the company. The other half is the food service side of it. The food service side of it has been killed. So what you're going to have in the next 12 months is the recovery of that half of the business. As well as the recovery of that half of the business, what you're going to have is you're going to have the food service part of the company is going to recover, and all the deals that they've signed in the last 12 months that you've not seen in the earnings reports because the food services are closed, they're going to come in as well. So you're going to have the recovery in the food service side of the company, which you'll see revenue explode. And then, as well as having the revenue or the food service recovery on the food service side of it, you're going to have all the new partnerships in the next 12 months that haven't been shown because restaurants are shut. You know, Pizza Hut, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. You're going to see in the next 12 months that segment is going to grow huge. You know, I can't say that enough. And the more I see more and more people sleep on that company, the more and more people that I'm seeing not aware and just looking at financials and don't see the bigger picture. That's how you always beat Wall Street, is you see the bigger picture. and people are judging this company off what the company's going to do in the next 3-6 months. And I agree, the next 3-6 months might not be amazing for the company, and that's why the stock is low at the moment. But you can't judge a company off what it's going to be in the next 3 or 6 months. You've got to judge a company off what it's going to be in the next, I was going to say 12 months, but even longer than that, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But even the next 12 months, there's no way I see Beyond Meat being at the valuation that it is right now. And there's part of me now that I kind of like, I'm really tempted. I can't do it because of just the company and the moat that it does have. But there is part of me that kind of wants to make Beyond Meat my biggest position. And when we get around to 12 months time and the food services absolutely booms, I just feel like then I can go, told you so, But I think that I'm the more that this is getting trashed by like analysts as well, I'm just getting more and more ultra bullish on it. And I think these guys are going to do really well with them food services coming back in the next 12 months. Number 5, here. So I bought some more shares in here. The stock can continue to dip, and for me at Huya at the moment, I'm like, I don't know what, I think maybe it just went up too quick and it just got hurt and it just came back down. That's why I'm always a fan of companies only going up slowly. But I think Huya, I was going to say the earnings are bad, but the earnings weren't even that bad, Maybe they were just slightly under expectations, but, at what point do you go, oh, they missed by like 1% on the revenue guidance, Profit was really good, the profit's growing huge in it, but at what point do you go, oh, it's a bad company because it missed revenue by 1% on the guidance? Like, the company still put in like nearly 30% revenue growth, and you look at the valuation of the company, I think it's trading like a forward P of 17 or something, and you're like, at what point do you go, yeah, it's a bad company because it just misses guidance slightly? Are we just going to rule out that the profit is growing huge? Are we going to rule out that the revenue still grew at 30% rate? That's a pretty decent rate. When we're going to rule out that the valuation is like at a forward P of 17 or something, I just think that this one's is just once again being slept on. And I think that the big thing for this one, I think the reason, in my opinion, why it can't stay at high valuation is because it's just got the Douyu and Huya merger hanging over it. And I think I've always said, I don't think Huya will kick on until that's sorted. Whether that's Huya, the merger doesn't go through, which I would be fine about because Huya is a great company and will come around to do well. I would like the Douyu merger to go through, and if it does go through, then Huya, Douyu, you're not having the competition to get streamers on your platform. So that's another great thing. You have 80% control of the market, which is a great thing. And I think Huya will then really kick on from there. So I think until the merger's done, that'll be the key thing. But Huya at the moment, I think when you look at the company, profit growth, revenue growth, I think it's a really good company. And number 6 was Gang. So I did buy some more shares in Gang, somewhere around the $18 range. They brought earnings out, and I'm going to actually do a full video on this one tomorrow, so I'm not going to talk about it too much today. But when I look into Gang, the earnings were a little bit below expectation, and the revenue was a slight miss. Like I said, I'll talk so much more on it tomorrow. But when you look at the guidance that they've just put out, you look at the guidance, and if Gang can hit their guidance, because obviously you got the Michigan launch coming in, the Michigan launch will be huge for Gang, and if they can hit their guidance they've put out for 2021, with that Michigan launch, which everything looks like it's going really positive as well, Gang, in my opinion, won't be at $18 for long. I think it will be at the end of this year. If it hits that guidance, it will be $30 plus. But I don't want to talk about it too much because I want to make sure you tune into my video tomorrow where I go a lot more detailed into Gang. So that's all I'm giving out for now on that one. So make sure you come back tomorrow to watch that one. But those are the 6 stocks that I bought this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what stocks you're buying at the moment. I'm currently looking into Teladoc at the moment, actually. So I'll see where that one goes. I've done about 5 hours research into it now. I'm going to listen to the Investors Day Relations later on today, which is 5 hours long. So then I'll be about 10 hours in, and we'll see exactly where that one goes as well. I'm currently looking into that one, but let me know what you bought as well. That'd be absolutely amazing. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you're new, subscribe as well, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video where we'll be talking about this one. See you in a bit.